Alright, for this video we're going to fly from Aurora to McMinnville. So go in the search tab, type in KUAO, then KMMV for McMinnville. We're going to push go. So we want to do the Newburgh departure. So we're going to select procedure in the top right, departure from UAO, Newburgh UBG2, we're going to add it to the route. Alright, so then going into Newburgh, or going into McMinnville, we want to do the ILS-22. So we go procedure, approach, ILS-22. And we're going to do that via UBG since that's part of the departure. Add to route. There we go. And super easy how to do that. Now, as you can see, Lucy is the misapproach holding pattern, which there's not a waypoint on there for it. So in our FMS, I'll add Lucy. So our FMS does not have the ILS-22 in the database. So when we fly the approach, to be a proactive pilot, we would put in the RNAV-22, which will mirror the approach, and then we could add Lucy as a fix so that when we go missed, we can select NAV-D couple, and then the aircraft will fly to Lucy. And it's important to remember that when you're on the approach and you go hit the go around button, it's going to climb straight ahead at 80 knots, and it's going to turn the shortest distance to Lucy, which depending upon winds, it may think it's to the left. So when you push the go around button, it's important to take the heading selector on the FCP, flight control panel, and turn it to the right to get the aircraft turning to the right before you select NAV-D, just to ensure that it'll turn to the right the shortest distance. Not necessarily the shortest distance, but the distance that you're required to do for the holding fix. And as we can see, it's climbed straight ahead in the center of the screen here to 900, then continue right to 3000 heading 069 via the 204 radio to Lucy and hold as depicted. And then we have in the center of our screen here, we have 024 is our inbound course. It's right turns, and on the FMS video you'll get more information about that. Thank you. Alright, here's the scenario. We're going to fly from Aurora to McMinnville, and then from McMinnville we're going to do the ILS-22 into McMinnville. This FMS does not have the ILS-22 information in the FMS. So to back up the ILS-22, we're going to program the RNAV-22. So as again, I'm on the main page, we're going to go to route. Our departure point is Kilo, Uniform Oscar Alpha, UAO, this is Aurora, that's our origination. We're going to go to KMMV, Kilo Mike Victor, which is McMinnville, that's our destination. Execute. We're going to go departure arrival, we're going to go departure, we're going to go over to Newburgh VOR via runway 17, execute. Arrival departure. Now like I said, arrival into KMMV, we have an RNAV-22, but we don't have the ILS-22. So we're going to put RNAV-22 via UBG, execute. Alright, now when we fly the approach, we program the ILS information into the radio. We would select ILS in our FND, but to navigate to there, we would have this information programmed into our NAV-D. So let's go into legs. And one of the things we can do is we know that after, so this mirrors the approach basically, right to the missed approach point, and from then on it does not. So we know that after the runway we want to go to Lucy, L-U-S-E-Y. So in this scratch pad I'm going to type in L-U-S-E-Y, and I'm going to put that right over the top of UVA there, and it's going to add it after the runway. Now to get rid of the discontinuity, I'm going to go there and there, execute. Now Lucy is a holding point, so I don't know the exact particulars, but we're just going to go / and then H for hold, and we're going to put that in Lucy. Now it's going to ask us for the information. Well, it's right turn. The inbound course, I believe, is 024, and the leg time is 1 minute. Now let's say it was 2 minutes. I'm just going to show you how to change that. If it was 2 minutes, we could just go 2. Oops, I did the same thing. Boom, I got to input the inbound course. The leg time, if it was 2 minutes, I would just go 2, select, and now it just changed that for 2 minutes. Let's say the leg time was a distance and not a time. Let's say it was 4 nautical miles. If you look, there's a / in the middle here. So we just go / 4, boom. Now it tells us it's 4 nautical miles. That's just one way to program that holding bit there. All right, so now we're flying the ILS. I'm going to pull the camera up here. If we were flying the ILS, we would have ILS set here, and I'm not going to walk you through the entire ILS because you know what you're doing there, but it's a right turn to Lucy and hold as depicted. We got the holding fix in. The problem is that the aircraft might turn left, it might turn right. So when we get down to the missed approach point, we're going to select go around, and as you know, the go around button is right down here on our collective. Okay, there's the go around button. So we're going to climb straight ahead at 80 knots, and then we want to do a right turn. Well, once you select the go around button, the heading knob is going to be active in the FCP, the flight control panel. So we're going to turn our heading to the right, get the aircraft navigating to the right, at which point we'll have Lucy displayed in our ANAV, right, and it will be holding. So for example, I could come back here, I could select Lucy, go next, previous, oh, never mind, execute, oops, shit, previous, legs. Now I want Lucy to be right there, just as an example, all right? So Lucy's there, I'm going to select it, navigate. So now Lucy populated on my NavD screen. If I select NavD, it's going to navigate me to Lucy and hold as depicted.